started since everybody. Okay, welcome everybody. My name is Emily Olzak. I'm a Senior Assistant Director of Admissions here at Niagara University. We are thankful that you're able to join us tonight for our financial aid presentation. I'm going to have my colleagues introduce themselves. Emily, do you want to start?
Yeah. Hi, my name is also Emily. I'm also a Senior Assistant Director. She's Emily O. I'm Emily B. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to go over housekeeping rules. So again, you are more than welcome to turn your camera on. We will feed questions through the chat box. That seems to work best for everyone in our past events. So if you do have any questions, tonight is your night to ask them, and we have Katie and Marty on, who I'm going to let them introduce themselves. If you are a student, I invite your parent or guardian to join you. And if you're a parent, welcome. Other than that, Katie, you're next on my screen if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. Thanks, Emily, and Emily, both Emilys. My name is Katie Kosas. I am the Director of Financial Aid here at Niagara. I'm sure I've talked to many of the parents and students here before. I'm also a proud alum from Niagara. I went here for both my undergrad and graduate degrees. So today is pretty much an open forum, so please feel free to type in those questions as they pop up.
Hi, I'm Marty Howell. I'm the Director of Student Accounts, and it's wonderful to have all of you join us this evening. I'm also an alum.
Lots of alums in the house. So again, please feel free to write your questions. I am going to start off by asking you guys, for our students who qualify for work study, how does that affect their financial aid, or how does that, they break up their bills, etc.? What does that look like?
You want me to take it, Marty, or you?
Yeah, I'll be happy to take that. So if you have work study in your package, then we need an original signature on a work study deferment form in order to put up a deferment for the student. So you can find that at niagara.edu/accounts, and under payments, you would click on work study underneath there. The payment tab is to the left, and down towards the bottom is work study. Print out the form, have the student sign it, put in the percentage that they want to put on their account, and then we will put up that deferment. Normally we put up around 90%. Well, it's whatever the student and the parents determine that they should use. And we do send out monthly statements, so you can see where the student is with making that award.
I don't know how to get it on my computer, though. Does it have to be? My computer's trying to do it was ask for a password.
That makes sense to everybody? Okay, thanks, Marty. So along those lines, with regards to work study, we had a question from parents about how does this parent get the financial or payment account, or how can they get access if their students are, again, above 18?
The student would log into WebAdvisor, or they can go to niagara.edu/payments, and they can log in there using their Purple Pass login. Then the student would give access to the parent, and the parent would then be able to get in. They would have their own account. If there is a divorce situation, both parents can have access, and they can each see the account. So it's much easier for everybody. They can go in and they can sign up for a payment plan, schedule payments. They can make a payment, and that's how that would work. If you have any questions about how to get in or how to do that, I have been sending out postcards. So hopefully, I know some people here in the area got them today. So hopefully you will get yours soon. If you have any questions, though, you're certainly welcome to give us a call.
I just want to jump in about work study. So work study it's a U.S. federal fund. So you do have to be a U.S. citizen in order to be eligible for and file with the FAFSA. So not everyone, unfortunately, is awarded work study in their package. We only have a limited number of positions. So if it's not in your package, it could be because either you don't have financial need based upon the FAFSA form, or that we just didn't have enough positions to award it to you. You can go on a waiting list for this, and you need to contact Krista Massaro in Career Services, and I'll pop her email in the chat. But contact her, and you can be placed on a waiting list. Sometimes you might not be placed for the fall, but then again, could be openings in the spring, so that's always an option as well. And then there was a question.
Just because you didn't qualify this year doesn't mean you wouldn't qualify the following year, or.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. It is something that, if you don't get it for this year, if maybe you're eligible in the next year, again, and that you kind of go through the waiting list with Career Services.
Awesome. Now, parents have been asking about, how do you decline the unneeded health insurance when you go in, because they see that on their bill as well?
So what they would do is they would go back to the new student portal, and that's on admissions website under accepted students, and then you scroll down, it says deposits and other things. So you click on that plus, and then hit the SOAR button, and the student would log in with their Purple Pass ID, and that's where they would find all of the health insurance information. They need to put it into the website so that that goes to health services, so they can actually see that they are eligible for that waiver. And then it would come off every Monday, and their bill would be adjusted.
Okay, great. We have another question about direct unsubsidized loans showing up as a credit on people's bills.
Mm-hmm.
Do they need to do anything about that?
Yes. So if you haven't already accepted it, you do have to go into your Web Advisor portal, the self-service section, and accept that loan. If you've already accepted it, then there's a couple other things you have to do. You have to complete the master promissory note and the entrance counseling. Those are two different requirements. Those are both done at studentaid.gov. And there's links in your self-service portal. There's direct links to fill those out. But both of those do need to be completed before the loans will disperse.
Okay, so one of our another parents asked if they have accepted their loans, but they might cancel them in the end. Is there a time limit for that? They're waiting on outside funds. So is there like a certain time limit that they have in order to cancel their accepting of the loans?
I mean, there's no hard as long as it's before the end of the semester,
okay,
then that's perfectly fine. I know a lot of things don't come in, right at the beginning. So as long as you just let us know before the semester is over with, we could still process the cancellation of those loans.
Okay, perfect. Another question was if their student had already accepted all the financial aid and completed the checklist items, etc. Do they still need to apply to an outside loan, like a Sallie Mae, for the direct subsidized and unsubsidized loans, or is that already?
So the subsidized and unsubsidized are federal loans, and though technically the FAFSA form was your application for those. So if you've already done the checklist items, the master prom note, the entrance counseling, and accepted it, there's nothing else you have to do for those. Now, if you are looking for an additional loan above and beyond what you already have in order to help pay off some of your balance, then that would be potentially maybe Sallie Mae, Wells Fargo, a credit union, or a Parent Plus loan that you would go to look. But you don't actually go directly to Sallie Mae or anything for your subsidized or unsubsidized loans.
So another question is for our Canadian students. With payment in regards to that, how would they go in for payment, Canadian versus United States? Is there anything different to American?
Yes, our Canadian portal is not operational yet. We have a couple of glitches that we're working on, so that should hopefully be finished very soon. I would suggest that they apply for OSAP. That's loans for Canadian students. So if they decide to do that, they can go to the OSAP website and put in their information and get an estimate of what they would be getting. So that might be a good place for them to start. If you need the program of information sheet filled out, you would send that to financial aid. That's finaid@niagara.edu. Okay, so I understand that some people are not Canadian, just living in Canada. So You could sign up for the payment plan once that is available, and we'll go from there. We may be able to work out some other types of payment plans just specifically for you, but you would need to contact me separately.
Great. What about students? How do they find out who the loan provider is for their loans? Will they get a bill, or do they get paperwork, or if it is Sally Mae, or yeah?
So for their federal loans, you will be assigned a service provider. However, the loans haven't actually dispersed yet, so there's no provider attached at the moment. That probably won't happen until late September, early October. You're actually able to access the student loan information anytime at nslds.gov website. And again, there's links to that through the students portal.
Okay. So for parents who are looking at their bills right now and they see a large sum of money, is there a way for them to break up the payments throughout the semester or throughout the year, like monthly installments or anything like that?
Absolutely. So what they would do, as I said, the Canadian portal isn't available yet, but on both instances, either the US or the Canadian, once that's available, they can go in and sign up for a 4-month or 5-month payment plan. There are options for, now with a credit card or debit card, you would be charged 2.85% processing fee. If you use an electronic check, with the Canadian, it's a little bit different, but you can end up doing it out of your bank account where there is no additional fee for that. And for the US, it's also would be considered an electronic check.
Perfect. Let's see. What about students? Can you talk a little bit about the level tuition plan and what that, like the benefits of it for parents and what they should do, how to do it, go about it?
Sure. So the level tuition plan, LTP is what we call it for short. It locks your tuition rate in for your 4 consecutive years. So if you are a freshman, it's only good for freshman students. If you're a transfer student, unfortunately, you're not eligible for it. But for our freshman students, you can lock your tuition rate in. Currently, normal regular tuition is $33,700 for the year. If you lock in your tuition rate this year, you would lock it in at the $34,200 rate. So it's $500 more for the year, so $250 a semester. But that $34,200 would stay the same for your remaining 3 years as well, that it will not increase. So it's definitely a benefit to sign up to it if you're going to be here for the 3 or 4 years. Unfortunately, if you do transfer out or stop attending after a year, you have paid that additional $500, but that would be the only downside. Like I said, you are guaranteed to not pay to have your tuition increase. When I was attending Niagara, my parents signed me up for it. They saved a couple thousand. Students last year who signed up for it were projected to save around $400 to $4,500 over the life of the 4 years. So it's definitely a good option to sign up to kind of help you be able to budget and plan for the future years.
And can they break down the payments as well, like with that as well throughout the
yeah,
semester?
it just gets added to your bill.
Okay.
So that would be part of if you're on a payment plan, that would be just added to it. If you do want to sign up for it, if you haven't done so already, it is found within your admissions welcome portal, same place you signed up for, the health insurance and also like summer orientation. You just go there and it's on your left-hand side, just as level tuition plan contract. If you are under age 18 though, you will have to print off a paper copy after you hit submit and have one of your parents sign it and return it to us.
Is there a deadline for the level tuition plan?
Please get it in by the time school starts. So really August 24th would be the deadline to have that in.
And is there a deadline at all for parents signing up for the installments of payment? Is there?
Yes, that would be September the 8th, I believe, is the last day to sign up. There is a 10-day extension, so it is a shortened window this year.
Perfect. Now, what about families who might have outside scholarships? They received it through their parent, like work or being a Boy Scout. How does that work?
Okay, so when you get an outside private scholarship, there are so many things that you may have to do. Some require a copy of your registration, some require a copy of the bill, some need something from the school signed saying that the student is in attendance. There's a lot of different things. So you will never see that as an actual deferment on your bill. But if you let us know about it, we can put a note on your account. And then when the money comes in, we will just post it to your account. If students want it split between fall and spring, so let's say you get $1,000 and you want 500 for the fall and 500 for the spring. We do need a letter from the student or something from my NU email giving me permission to split it between the 2 semesters.
Thanks. You guys, first of all, I just want to interrupt. You guys are asking me so many great questions that I wouldn't even thought of when I was starting. I'm going to give Emily a break for a second and grab a drink of water. So we're continuing with payment plan options. Are there fees attached if families do opt into the payment plan? Is there any additional fees to that?
Yes, there is a $25 fee when you sign up. So it's due when you sign up, and then the balance of the account then is split into either 4 or 5 payments.
Perfect. Thank you, Maddie. Adam asked about the new Eagle Experience Scholarship and asking if it's applying to our students starting here in less than a month. And unfortunately, this is something new that we're still trying to reboot or try to boot up for our incoming class for next year. So unfortunately, Adam, it is not going to apply to you because I know you would definitely qualify for it because I've seen you on so much, but great question. Cheryl has a question about student fees on the bill and what all that entails.
Okay, you're talking about the student services fee?
Yes.
That covers my handy dandy cheat sheet is in my office. So it's about that long. It covers health services, use of the library, intramural facilities, university publications, student government, programming board, and I'm sure there's a couple that I forgot, but they're all in there.
It's all is that the one, Marty, if I'm correct, that's around $1,500?
Yeah, it's $770 a semester.
Yep, so that's how I relate this to families is it's the fund payment. So when a student has an activity on campus and we're like, hey, come build a Monty, you don't have to pay for it, it's built in. When we start redoing trips, that cost is also built in. So it's all the free stuff on campus. Their printing is included, like Marty said, access to the library, books, loans. So it's all of that additional stuff lumped into one big fee, which is nice that we have all of those options. And it's also not broken down into several different fees, like one just for printing, one just for health services and stuff like that. They're wondering why those fees are not covered under tuition. Does anybody want to describe difference between tuition and student service fees?
It's an additional service that is provided. So it's for full-time students only. So part-time students would pay $25 registration fee.
Yep, and tuition's mainly covering just your courses. So it's covering just your classes that you're taking, and it's not including any of the extra stuff that we offer on campus, such as offering printing, the health center. I'm trying to think of other ones off the top of my head, any programming activity and stuff like that. Those are all kind of like a bonus that we offer to you, where tuition is just lumped together. Robin, I can actually take this one. So the first day book program is new, completely new this year. There was an error on the website earlier this week, but I did hear that it is corrected as of today. So I encourage you to try and log on, and if Robin, if you can, see if it is on there. And then do we want to talk about how books are operating too? Because they bring up a great point, built in and stuff like that.
Sure. So books are charged this year for the first time to your account, and you would go to Barnes & Noble and you would put in your classes, order your books, and how you want to receive them. So that you are assured that you would have all of your books the first day of classes. There is an opt-out policy. You can do that. It's not available yet on MyNU, but it will be shortly. And I believe that will end up below the schedule on MyNU. So it should be there, I'm hoping, next week.
That's great.
The $200, it's $200 per semester that would be charged for full-time students, and then that will cover all of your books for all of your classes.
When I went to school, I paid $275 for one book. And so 200 is really a deal.
No, I was about to say, where was this when I thought I was going to do, I thought I was going to be a Nurse Friends, and I was like, a biology book for $300. So great deal. This is where I'm going to do a plug as well. If you are a student tuning in or your student is around you, parent, Marty keeps talking about MyNU. We are going to have a MyNU walkthrough session next week. Next Thursday at 6 o'clock. I encourage your students to sign up. They are going over so much about what is all involved with the MyNU account, and that's going to be Web Advisor, which Marty keeps talking about and Katie keeps talking about, where their classes are, what Canvas is, how to find their classes, how they find their classmates, how to add campus funds, see their balance of campus funds and everything like that. So I encourage your student to join in and be able to get that walkthrough on it too. Any questions that are brewing in anyone's head?
I have a question.
Emily always comes prepared with questions.
Sorry, I just, want to be prepared. For students, and again, this is not obviously for this year of students, but for thinking ahead of study abroad, how does financial aid affect study abroad, or, looking forward? Again, I know that's a question we get from students all the time about wanting to study abroad. So what is the payment, or how does financial aid cover that? If you could talk a little bit about that.
Well, it varies. Right now, clearly, no study abroad is happening.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, but in the future, hopefully.
Maybe I shouldn't have brought that up.
Yeah, maybe we should have avoided that question. But how it would work in the future and how it normally works is that it's hard to kind of give you a blanket statement because each program is so different. So some programs, it's more of like an exchange through us where like you can use all your same aid. Other programs, you're capped at how much now university aid you can use. And then other things are just like smaller things are just like kind of tacked on. There's like, you can use all your normal aid, but you're tacked on extra charges for that study abroad program. So unfortunately, until we know what program you're going into, we wouldn't really be able to give a lot of specifics. Marty, did you have anything else that I might have missed from that?
No, I think that was great. You can do deposits. Some people do require deposits. Those are for the short spring trips that they take. Sometimes those are 2 weeks. They go over to Europe and they would ask for a deposit. So you can pay that online. Those short trips are really cool. And they're more reasonable. It's an easier way to get to Europe and see different things and experience different things. At a
Yeah, and those are
reasonable
great
cost.
because it's like the culminating event, like at the end, after studying. Have scholarships through the SOS already been awarded?
So not all of them. We are still we have over 200 that we have to go through. We've awarded some, but not all yet. So if you haven't yet applied, please go on and apply for scholarships through our scholarship opportunity search portal that can be found in your MyNU account under the resources tab. But if you have applied already, don't fret. We're still going through them. I'm trying my best to kind of have them awarded by the time the bill's due on August 10th. But it's been crazy. So we are trying our best, but please don't fret. We're still awarding.
Are those renewable each year, or does it say in the fine print like some of them might be?
Yeah, some of them might be. We try our best to renew all of them if able. A lot of it depends on the student still meeting the criteria the next year, money being available in the fund that particular year. And then some specifically will say it's only for a freshman or it's only for a junior. And if it's one of those cases, it's only for that year.
Okay. We have a question about the NuInvitational. Is that for scholarships, I'm assuming, or?
So that we no longer have the NU Invitational. That was something we stopped this year or the past year.
2 years ago.
It's been
Yeah, I
2
think
years
it's 2
now.
years ago.
Yeah, so instead of that used to, I'll explain really quickly what that was. It used to be something where students were invited, if you had specific scholarship, merit scholarships, you were invited to on campus to kind of compete for additional scholarships. We did away with that program because we actually put that money back into our merit scholarships to be able to increase those for all students. So that's why we no longer have that invitational program.
I just want to jump back to the scholarship opportunity search. So I know we push this to our freshman students so much and encourage them to apply. Now, once they're here, next year they're going to be sophomores. Can they still continue to use that SOS portal and apply to scholarships and stuff like that?
Yes, because there's several on there that are specifically for upperclassmen students. So yes, please do this every year.
Perfect. I hope all my parents heard that too.
I also wanted to talk about how we determine the Canadian exchange adjustment. So we go through each student, each Canadian student or student who lives in Canada, and we determine what your out-of-pocket costs are. And then we take that amount and add 20% to it so that those students can pay in Canadian funds. It is a big savings as opposed to paying in US funds, especially with the exchange rate that's out there right now.
Great. We have a question about how flexible is financial aid when a student is waiting for their OSAP forms back, so they can apply and they haven't received their financial aid package yet. So if they haven't received their OSAP forms,
So I think that's more of a Marty. Like Marty, you're pretty flexible on the payments if we know OSAP is coming in, right?
I am. Things are a little bit different with TouchNet. So if there's an issue with you needing extra time, please let me know. My email, which is the best way to reach me right now, the phones are off the hooks. So what I mean is they're busy. We're not taking them off the hook. But my email is meh@niagara.edu. So you can send that. Thank you, Katie. You can send me an email, and that way I will put that in my tickler file. And when I go to start charging late fees, I will take that into account.
yeah, and we always tell students and families, if there is any issues at all, like, please let us know, and we can make arrangements. Again, we know this is a wacky time for all, so any bit that we can help and make this process a lot easier, you just have to keep us aware and let us know. We can't assume things are going well or assume anything. So, you know, let us know, let your students know to reach out to their admissions advisors like Emily, myself. You can always reach out to us and then we can point you in the right direction to somebody if you have any other questions. I'm going to put my information in as well in the chat box. So then that way, if anybody needs to get in contact with an admissions advisor in the office, you can contact us.
And I think there was a question from Patrick about any money available through CARES. So we did have CARES money that came to us from the federal government that was actually used solely for students who were registered during the spring 20 semester. So that money has been given out entirely. If we get any more money from, you know, in the next bill, we have no idea what it's going to look like. So there might be some more money coming in, but we don't know that yet. If you are looking for additional funding, you know, to help you through like this semester or next semester, you are always welcome to contact, you know, send my office an email, finaid@niagara.edu, which I think Emily already put that in there earlier, and, you know, kind of explain the situation, and we'll see if there's anything else we can do.
Thanks, Kay. Their office is great.
I did see a question.
They're about the only office that I have their extension memorized.
Exactly.
So that shows you how closely we work with them. 8686. That's their extension. And I know who's answering first. And if Lisa's busy, it's going to bump to Lynn. And if Lynn doesn't answer, it's going to bump to somebody else. And I'm like, listen, they're amazing over there. Amazing. Please utilize them if you need them.
But please be patient because we are being slammed right now. So.
Except for the next few weeks until classes start.
Right.
Yeah. I did see a question concerning where to find your bill on MyNU, and it would not be on MyNU. We did email all the Canadian students to their MyNU email. So have your student go out to their email and check it to see if the bill is there. It takes so long for the mail to get to Canada that we were emailing bills to the student account, the student's MyNU account. And also shortly, we will have the Canadian instance up and you'll be able to go online.
If updates are made to bills, do they get a notification?
I'm working on that. I've sent out bills just, like 100 times today. So I will do my very best.
That's great. We have a question about the Legacy Award. If it differs from child to child, is there a reason behind that, or?
Yeah, so Mr. Manetti, he has 2 daughters here, Niagara. So how the Legacy scholarship system changed this year is that if you're a Legacy student, you get the $1,000 award that's renewable. But if you then, it's a little confusing, I guess, but if you then have more than one child here, the child that's been here, the first child gets $2,000. I don't know if it's kind of hard for me to explain, I guess, but that's how that works. So because the first daughter has been here longer and is now making it so that I don't know how to explain this. I'm sorry, but I've lost it. I'm sorry.
I think what Katie's trying to say is if Marty was our mother and I was the first child to go to NU, I would get $2,000 when my sister, also named Emily, would come to NU. She would get $1,000.
Correct.
Which is more money than we've offered to Legacy students in a while. So ever, actually.
Correct.
Sorry, John.
Oh, John, I love that you used the smiley face. I've never seen anybody use the smiley face in the chat box. This is so exciting.
That's cool.
Change of address. Katie, you're nodding. Anyone's not nodding their head.
The bill, that'd be Marty.
Send an email from you. The student should send an email from their MyNU email account. They can send it to sao@niagara.edu, and we'll make sure that address gets changed for you.
Yeah, you should let the Office of Admissions know, everybody in your contact list, so that way we can keep track to see who, if your address has changed and if any other notifications. Does anybody else have any questions?
SAO.
SAO.
In there.
Katie's saving the day. This is why Marty's Emily and I's mom.
Does anyone else have any questions? You guys have been great tonight.
Yeah, great questions.
Like the other Emily said earlier, I encourage students and parents to get on the MyNU event that's happening next Thursday at 6, right, Emily?
Yes, 6 o'clock.
It's just a lot easier. Again, it's going to be 4 o'clock. It's going to be very thorough. Students are running it as well, so that you can see where to go get your financial aid information, your class schedule, etc. It just is it's going to be a great event, even for ourselves, because our system looks different compared to what the students see. So it'll be a great event for you guys.
4 o'clock next Thursday. If you're on the Facebook page, it's there too.
Oh, sorry guys. There's just a question. With the new financial system, do Canadians no longer use Flywire?
That is correct. You will not need an intermediary anymore. So once the Canadian account is up and running, then you will pay directly to Niagara University's Canadian account, and it'll go immediately onto the account. Where Flywire, we used to have to wait sometimes up to a week before we got your payment. So this way, it'll go immediately onto your account, and there won't be any delay.
So Adam, we're talking about the scholarships. It's called SOS, so the Scholarship Opportunity Search, and it's through NU. I tell students, if you even want to Google SOS, Niagara University Financial Aid, it's on your right-hand side. You can break down scholarships by whether it's a certain program, whether they'll match it right away, and it'll tell you if you match or not. So it'll give you the green light, like, yes, you hit all the criteria, whether you are a business major, first year, first generation, or it gives you an X to say you do not qualify. So again, they make it very easy for you. And like we said, we encourage all students to do it because it's a great way to get a little extra cash and something that you won't have to pay back.
And it's always available, as Katie said.
Yes.
So even after this year, check it out. And
Exactly.
again, that also, I know we really encourage students freshman year starting, going to college and stuff like that. Oh, fill out applications. That doesn't stop after freshman year. So sophomore year, junior year, senior year, I always encourage my students, look for applications for scholarships everywhere. If you're working at a job, if you do an internship through your church, local in your home community and stuff like that, there's so many scholarships out there, and $500 is $500 that you don't have to work off through federal work study. Maybe that's $500 that you can pocket to go home or something like that. So don't just stop looking for scholarships your freshman year. I remember I had students asking for letters of reference from me sophomore, junior, going into their senior year. Hey, can you write me this letter? And I said, let me just tweak the one that I wrote for you last year. So continue applying to scholarships and then notify Marty so she can add them to your account.
Yep. And then for SOS, the cutoff, so January 1 is when we switch over to the new year for applications. So if you're going to be here in the fall, if you're applying for 2021 this year, you got to apply before that. Again, most of them are already awarded by then, but there's some that don't get awarded until the spring. But January 1st is when it switches over, so you can start applying for the 21-22 year.
That's good to know. I didn't even know that as well.
So Mrs. Searles, you would be able to make a payment using the electronic check process. I understand that your bank doesn't know how to use that. We're all going to learn how to do that. You can also send in a bank draft. You can send in a personal check. It's up to you how we want to do that. We'll find a way so that you don't incur additional fees.
And it looks like Robin tried the book site again and still getting an error.
Yeah, we'll email our directors because they're the ones that have been interacting.
Opening it into a different browser, sometimes that works. I mean, I know I've had students that's happened before where it doesn't work in Internet Explorer, but it might work in Google Chrome. So maybe try that. And
oh, Vicky was able to get on. Vicky, what browser were you on?
Yeah,
Because we're solving world problems today. These are what I consider world problems right now.
We're just throwing out helpful suggestions over there. Thank you very much.
I love this.
Helping one another, helping each other.
That's right.
I love it. Any other questions, guys? Any other comments from my financial aid people, my friends up there?
Any advice? Maybe best advice to give them. Katie, do you want to start with best advice as they're starting here in a month, whether that's relating to your office? Let's go that it's relating to your office.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've given any freshman advice before. So financial aid wise, my advice to you is please make sure that you have completed all the steps that you need to for financial aid. If you are a freshman student, we've been reaching out, well, freshman who's completed a FAFSA, I should say, we've been reaching out, asking if you want to do an appointment with us, whether it's by phone or virtual. We still don't have on-campus appointments for financial aid yet. So my advice is please make sure you have everything done before you come to campus. It will make your life so much easier. You're able to disperse on time, and you won't kind of have like a panic attack when things aren't dispersing when they should be. That's my advice.
For parking permits, you would go to MyNU. There is a place on there for them to apply for their parking permit, and then they would set up a time to come and pick it up. So that's new this year as well.
Oh. I didn't even know that.
I didn't either.
Thanks, Marty.
You're welcome.
I've been telling him, go the first few weeks of classes.
No.
Didn't know that.
Let's put Officer Lopez to work getting all those parking permits together.
Exactly. So we don't get tickets.
Okay, so there's some SOS questions. Okay, Adam. So, yes, if you're on the main page, it's the only scholarship system that we have off of any of our sites. So that's the same one. You just need your Purple Pass credentials to log in. As with everything that we have here at NU, you need to use your Purple Pass credentials. My scholarship profile country is wrong. Who do I contact? So that, unfortunately, you really can't fix that through the system. Anything like that, whether it's a GPA or that all kind of updates through our system. Sometimes it happens nightly, but sometimes it doesn't happen until after you've been here for a semester. So still apply for the scholarship. I double check everything. So still apply for the scholarship, even if it's saying you have the wrong, county or country or whichever it might be.
For the NU health insurance, where do they look on the portal to see if it's added, or is it on the bill already?
It's on the bill already.
Okay.
So if they see it, they need to go back, and they have health insurance. It is a state law that they have health insurance now. So everybody has to have it. But go back to the new student portal on admissions and go through that accepted students again, and that way you will find it.
Perfect.
Fill that out and send it in. Well, submit it.
Any other questions? You guys were pretty easy then, huh? I mean,
Right?
A lot of good
geez.
questions, though.
A lot of good questions. We got a lot of things answered.
I did get a message privately that a student can't change their meal plan. It says they're not a full-time student. For that student, I'm going to recommend shooting me an email with your schedule on it, because you should be registered as full-time.
The other thing is about changing your meal plans. Meal plans are going to be in shifts. So because of social distancing requirements. So when you have a meal plan, there will be a certain time that you need to be going in for meals. You will pick those up, and then I'm sure that will be explained more, but changing your meal plan is going to be a little bit more difficult this year because of the social distancing and the way that they're having to do everything. That's a really good question about where the parking permit is listed. I don't have access to my NU, what students see.
Yeah.
It's on my NU though, you said, Marty?
Yeah, it's on my NU. Well, anyway, it's brand new, so it's supposed to be on my NU. It may be one of the other things like the opt-out portal that's not there yet. I just heard about that yesterday.
Yeah, this is why going to that MyNU event next week would be helpful. Again, even for all of us, again, ours looks completely different than what the students see. So trying to navigate and tell you exactly where it is.
They say it's under campus safety, which is who assigns parking permits. So that makes complete and utter sense to me. So thank you. Again, here we are back to solving world crises over here, at least NU crises.
Good teamwork, I'm telling you.
I really love this.
So Canadians don't get charged the health service insurance fee. So only Canadian athletes.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other updates, Emily, on our end in the Office of Admissions?
If I have any out-of-state students here, we are another plug. We're hosting an event tomorrow night to talk about anything for out-of-state students. And that's going to cover our students that are in our travel advisory states that have to quarantine coming to campus. If you have any questions, please let us know. If you haven't received your housing assignment, please let us know. I know schedules are still coming out. So if you haven't received your schedule, give us to the end of the week. Again, we're going through over 600 students, getting them scheduled for classes. I guess with that being said, if you have any AP courses or college level courses that you have not sent to the admissions office, and you've taken a writing course at the community college near you, but you're also registered for our Writing 101 course, please send us all of that stuff so we can see that official transcript from the college that you took that course at, whether it was community college or an actual college. Make sure you're sending that to us. As Katie said, fill out all of your forms that need to be filled out. Fill out all of your forms that need to be filled out. If you're missing something, we'll let you know. So also continue checking your Niagara email. This should now be your new baby, so don't be checking your email that you've been using to apply from your high school or something like that. So be sure you're checking your NU email. Sign up for the My NU event to get a little bit of info on that. I learned quite a few things from that students, like, they can pay their club dues on there. Yeah, it's so crazy. I'm trying to think.
Health service phone number is 716-286-8390.
Man, Marty, you're really good at this. Marty lives next door to health services.
I call them a
I
lot.
have no clue.
Yeah, usually you can just walk over and ask questions.
Oh, I do
Marty,
that
do you
too.
just knock on the wall instead from your office and just knock over to health services sometimes?
If I weren't deaf, I would. They can hear me, I just can't hear them.
Maybe that's a good thing. Vicki, we will record the event for the My NU because it is at 4 p.m. We try to do it at maybe a time students would, but we'll upload that video as well to all of our other videos and send that out if you or your students cannot make it. We're also recording this, so if you thought of something else and we mentioned it earlier, we'll save this video and get this put up on the website as well. You guys have been great this evening. We really appreciate all the questions, good questions too.
And again, we put our contact information up there. So if you do have questions, please feel free to reach out to us and we can direct you put you in the right direction if we can't answer it directly.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think if that's it, let us know if you need anything else.
Yep.
We'll see you in less than a month.
Exactly, it's countdown.
I'm so excited. Thank you and have a great
Thank you,
evening.
guys.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.